Okay, our final kind of pre-algebra lesson here is going to be solving equations now dealing with fractional coefficients. So involving fractions, multiple steps, all types of equations here that we've been looking at in the previous lessons. So to review real quickly, when you have multiple fractions in the problem, again, look for a common denominator. So 6, 9, and 2, 18. So I'm going to multiply everything by 18. So really it's kind of like distributive property. So I'm 18 times negative 1/2, negative 1/6, 1/9. So 2 goes into 18 9 times, so that would be negative 9. 6 goes into 18 3, so that would be negative 3. And 9 goes into 18 2, so that would be 2z. Again, that gets rid of all my fractions. Now I can solve, add 3 to both sides. At this point we should be pretty familiar. 12 equals 2z. Divide by 2. And that's 6. And again, this is z equals, so you just put 6. Okay, this one doesn't have fractions. However, it does have variables on both sides of the equation. So again, doing kind of the same process. In this case, this is a positive 3x. Sorry, that's not very good. Let's try to rewrite that. Positive 3x. So to get rid of it, you subtract. So then that's going to give me 4x minus 7 equals negative 23. Add 7 to both sides. So 4x equals negative 16. Divide by 4. And we get x is negative 4. So again, pay attention, click an example, whatever you need to do to determine how you should type your answer in. Okay, this one has multiple variables. It also has distributive property. So first thing I'm going to do is try to simplify anything. In this case, I can't. So I'm going to do distributive. So when I do that, I get positive 8x, positive 2, minus x, plus 3 equals negative 30. Now I can combine like terms. Now I'm simplifying. Again, I'm not solving here, I'm simplifying because everything's on the same side of the equal sign. So 8x minus, again, this is a 1. 8x minus 1x would be 7x. 2 plus 3 is 5. So subtract 5. 7x equals negative 35. Divide by 7. That's going to give me x is negative 5. So again, pay attention. It may not want you to type this. Click an example if necessary. Okay, what about this one? Man, this looks pretty complex. Well, let's just start real basic again. Let's get rid of the fraction aspect of it. So 4 and 10, what's something they'll both go into? Well, they'll both go into 20. So 4 goes into 20 5 times. So that means I'm going to have 5 times this quantity. Now, that's important to know that it's a quantity because you have to do distributive property. So that's going to be 5x minus 15. Now do the next one. 10 goes into 20 2 times. So that's 2 times this. Now really it's not 2, it's really a negative 2 because of this negative sign here. So really what I'm distributing is a negative 2. Think of it that way. So negative 2 times that would be negative 6x and minus 6. Now, I still have to do the 20 times the other side of the equation. So I've got to do 20 times this side as well. So if I do that, I'm going to run out of space here a little bit. Let me see if I can move this over some. There we go. So if I do 20 times that, that's going to give me 40x plus 20 times 1 is 20. Now I'll simplify, look for like terms. Now I've made a mistake here because this really should have been x. I forgot to put the x with that. Sorry about that. Alright, so my lactose. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and simplify this. So I need to move this over so I can see it all. Alright, look for my like terms, 5x, 6x. So that's negative 1x. Oops, it's not my pen. There you go. Negative 1x, or just negative x, however you want to think of it. Negative 15, negative 6, so negative 21 equals 40x plus 20. Combine my like terms on either side since I have an x on both sides. So I always move my smallest one. So here I'm going to add 1x, add 1x. So those will cancel. So that gives me negative 21 equals 41x plus 20. Get rid of my 20 by subtracting. So if I subtract, I'll move this up a little bit. That now gives me negative 41 equals 41x. That's multiply, so the opposites divide. Negative divided by positive is a negative, so I end up with negative 1 is x. Okay, this one already has x equals in it. So all I need to do here is work it out. Again, have these fractions. So in this particular case, because the fraction's inside the parentheses, the first thing I'm going to do is distributive property. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that gives me negative 10 plus 28x minus 7 halves equals, now I'm going to move this over again so I can see the rest of it, negative 1/2 x minus 2x, or 1/2, sorry, negative 1/2 minus 2x. Now I still have these fractions, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to multiply everything by 2. Now again, you don't have to do this. You can use your calculator to do the math, use your fraction button, which hopefully at this point you're familiar with. But if you don't, again, I don't like fractions, so I try to get rid of them. So I'm just multiplying all this by 2. So that's negative 20 plus 56x minus 7 equals negative 1 minus 4x. Now look for your like terms again. So right here, got negative 27 plus 56x equals negative 1, minus 4x. I'm going to move my variable over. I always try to move the smallest, so I'm going to add 4x here. So those cancel. That gives me negative 27 plus 60x equals negative 1. Now I need to move the 27 over, so I'll add 27. I'll slide this up a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. So now I've got 60x equals 26. Now I divide by 60. Use your calculator here. You can do the fraction button, simplify it. So if I do that, I get 13 over 30. Man, can't write. There we go, 13 over 30. Problem. Okay, this is a proportion. Okay, so how do you solve proportions? You may remember in middle school you cross multiply. See that x. Now, since these are groups, okay, they're grouped because they're under the division symbol. You have to do distributive property. So you get 3 times x plus 4 equals, and then you have 5 times x plus 2. It's critical you use distributive property here, otherwise you will miss the problem. So I get 3x plus 12 equals 5x plus 10. subtract 3x. So 12 equals 2x plus 10. Subtract 10. That's going to be 2 equals 2x. Might hear my kids in the background. Divide by 2. And then you get 1. So you get x equals 1. Again, pay attention whether or not you need to put x equals by clicking an example. So hopefully you've had a lot of review now of solving equations, dealing with variables, simplifying, order of operations, as well as fractions.